What's up guys, thanks for tuning in to Suns Gaming. Today we will be ranking all 10 legends. With the addition of Watson and some nerfs and buffs to other legends, we thought it would be a good idea to rank all 10 legends into a complete tier list, ranking from S plus tier all the way down to C tier. So without further ado, let's get to ranking. Okay, so let's start with a fan favorite, Bangalore. Now, Bangalore can be super useful for any team because of her tactical ability, where she throws down smoke, allowing her team to either escape or heal. Her passive ability is super useful as well. When shot at, she sprints faster for a short time, making it very hard to hit. Trust me, I can never hit Bangalore's when they're running away. Her only downside, other than a large hitbox, would be her ultimate, which can be useful to push teams away from you, but does little to no damage, making it not very effective on offense. So with her excellent passive and great tactical, but because of her below average ultimate and large hitbox, we're going to have to rank her at A tier, close to the top of A tier. Okay, now let's talk about the absolute madman, Octane, who was added at the beginning of Season 1. Now I love using Octane. Even if I have a bad game with him, he's still super fun to use. I love running faster than everyone else. Let's talk about his tactical. That gives you the ability to run faster than anyone else in the game for a short period of time. It honestly is probably the best tactical in the game. His healing passive that regenerates health over time slowly also might be the best passive in the game. But like Bangalore, his only downside is his ultimate that is literally only a launch pad and is pretty situational. Its best use is to get a high vantage points and, just like Obi-Wan taught us, to gain the high ground on the enemy. Hey Noah, do you want to talk about Caustic? No? Anybody? Okay, fine, I'll do it. So Caustic at the beginning of the game was probably the worst legend in the game, but now he's moving up in the world. His passive that allows you to see through caustic gas is one of the worst in the game. His tactical, however, can be fun and useful in the right hands and situations, and makes for pretty good YouTube clips. The same can be said about his ultimate, which is useful, but usually only in close quarters, like Bunker, unless you are using it as a poor man's Bangalore smoke. His hitbox, we have to talk about his hitbox. It's huge, so while Caustic can be fun, and can be A tier in the right hands, for his situational use and large hitbox, we're gonna have to rank him in B tier. Should be C tier, but B tier. Next up is one of the most underrated legends in the game, the big fatty himself, Gibraltar. Now, Gibraltar got a lot of hate at the beginning of the game due to his lack of mobility and large hitbox. Now, his hitbox has been countered with a damage resistance and one of the better passives in the game, his gun shield. His ultimate, unlike Bangalore, is great for both attacking and defense. His tactical, which is a dome shield, is a little circumstantial, but can save not only you, but your teammates as well. Overall, Gibraltar is a great legend to use and doesn't have many downsides other than his large hitbox, but his lack of mobility will keep him planted here in A tier. Okay, so now let's talk about a legend that's a little mysterious. Let's talk about Bloodhound. Bloodhound is a legend that can be pretty hit or miss. His passive is cool, but most of the time is unnecessary unless chasing. His tactical is the same. It's cool, but most of the time you can hear the enemy, and actually using it would give away your position. Lastly, And his saving grace is his ultimate, which makes him run faster and highlights enemies in red, making you feel like an absolute god. He would be higher up on this list if you could play solo, but because he does little for the team and his abilities are cool but not great, puts him straight in B tier. Who's ready to talk about Pathfinder? I am! Pathfinder was originally slept on, but has climbed his way up the ranks. His passive lets you see the next ring, and it's amazing. His ult is good for movement and gaining high ground on enemies, and helps your whole team move across the map. Lastly, his tactical is an absolute beast, which when used correctly, you can grapple your way across the entire map, gaining you access to almost anywhere. You can also escape a fight or gain an advantage in that fight. Needless to say, Pathfinder is elusive as heck. His excellent team play and unmatched mobility put him firmly in S tier. Age of Shay has been waiting for us. You knew this one was coming. Lifeline makes every team instantly better. She is perfect for masters and newcomers alike. Her passive allows you to heal teammates faster and protects you while you do it. Her tactical heals not just you, but teammates too, making looting for meds less of a necessity. Lastly, it will be rare to find a team with a lifeline that doesn't have a purple shield due to her care package ultimate, which its only downside is that it's not great late game. With all this in mind, it's a no-brainer that Lifeline goes in the spot made special for her, S+. What's that smell? Is it pork chops? No, it's Mirage. Mirage at launch was far and away the worst legend in the game. The one thing he has always had though is his charm. His charm and a small hitbox. His recent buff to make himself go completely invisible when using his ultimate is a plus and is one of the best ways to escape a fight. His tactical sends out a decoy, but enemies almost always know it's a decoy immediately. His passive is useless. He goes invisible for a short time when knocked. Even if his abilities were buffed more, he would have the same issue he's always had. None of his abilities help his team in any way. So for a lack of team help and poor tactical and passive abilities, Mirage ranks at C tier, and that might even be generous. Okay, only 2 legends left. Let's move on to Wraith. Since the beginning of the game, people have considered Wraith to be one of the best legends. Let's see if that still holds up. Wraith's passive lets you know if enemies are looking at you and can be helpful to you and your team. Her tactical is good for escaping, but isn't always the best option for evading enemies. Her ultimate is very good for moving your team quickly away from fights or out of the storm. Overall, Wraith has good mobility and good team play. With all that in mind, and having the smallest hitbox in the game puts her here, right at S tier. This next legend was one of the hardest to rank. Let's talk about the newest one to the party, Watson. Watson has a lot of really cool features, so let's talk about her passive first. It's pretty complicated. First, ultimate accelerants fully recharge her ultimate. Then, standing by her ultimate recharges her tactical. So overall, her passive is pretty amazing and has a lot of recharging features. Her tactical is great for fortifying any building, and when used correctly, you can make any building into your fortress, making it impenetrable by enemies. And her ultimate is the perfect team-based ult. First, it recharges you and your teammates' shields and stops any projectiles from enemies, including Bangalore's ultimate, Caustic's ultimate, and other things like that. She does struggle in open fields, however, but it is great in buildings and late game. With all this in mind, we are going to have to rank her here at A tier. Okay, so let's take one final look at our tier list. Where do you guys agree? Where do you guys disagree? Let us know down in the comments. And if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up.
And for more from Suns Gaming, be sure to subscribe for more action. We're planning on uploading maybe once a week, but we'll see how things go at first. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.